Hi to all, I'm Lara.
مرحبا للجميع.
Hi, and I'm Yosef. A huge greeting from Jerusalem.
Hi, I'm Nalik from Portugal. Our greatest desire as Youth for United World, the youth expression of the Focolare movement, is to testify that universal brotherhood is possible everywhere. This is why we are connected with the whole world today via internet and satellite, and we'll be able to communicate with Mumbai, Budapest and Ljubljana. Greetings to all.
A special greetings goes to Emmaus, Maria Voce, president of the Focolare movement. Over here, there are 250 youth of 25 nationalities and belonging to different religions.
احنا موجودين بمحل خاص.
We find ourselves in a truly unique place. In fact, a few meters from the stage we are talking from, there is a small stone stairway that goes back to the times of the Romans. According to tradition, they say that on passing here, Jesus prayed to the Father asking for unity, that all may be one.
With this connection, we are concluding the year of the Gen Fest, an extraordinary year for all, and we begin with the World Unity Week 2013.
Every corner of the club.
اليوم بدنا إنه تكون هاي المرحلة مرحلة مهمة.
We would like today to be builders of another important step in fulfilling the worldwide project launched out at the GenFest, the Unity World Project.
This is the reason we chose the title, Be the Bridge. Through our own lives, we must be bridges between everyone.
Could there have been a more meaningful place to declare this commitment of ours, other than Jerusalem, a city of contrasts and divisions, but at the same time, cradle of millennial culture and intertwining of peoples and religions, always having been called to a design of peace.
هلا رح نشوف بعض الصور عن الأراضي.
Now we'll see some pictures of the Holy Land.
In August 2012, at Budapest, 12,000 of us met in the sports arena for the GenFest, and there were 500,000 people linked up through the social networks.
Now we will link up with the Youth for a United World of Hungary, who are in the center of Budapest at the Universal Brotherhood site inaugurated during the days of the GenFest.
We know that with you there is Dr. Miklos Retei, President of the Hungarian National Commission of UNESCO. Greetings to Dr. Retei.
Tudjuk, hogy ott van veletek dr. Réthelyi Miklós, az UNESCO Magyar Nemzeti Bizottság elnöke. Üdvözöljük dr. Réthelyi urat! Ott van veletek dr. Réthelyi Miklós, az UNESCO Magyar Nemzeti Bizottság elnöke. Üdvözöljük dr. Réthelyi urat!
Hello everybody, greetings from Hungary. Yes, we are here. We are here to celebrate the opening of the Week of the United World. We have gathered here at this very important place, the site of the Universal Brotherhood. This monument in Budapest was made for the Jam Fest, and it consists of 5 stones that bear the golden rule inscripted in many different languages. Do to others as you would have them do to you. We're about 100 people here, and we've just had a wonderful afternoon indeed. Now, as you, Lara, just have said, we are looking forward to a very special moment because we are honored by the presence of Mr. Miklós Réthelyi, the president of the Hungarian National Commission of UNESCO. And we are going to hand over the reports of the fragments of fraternity, these little witnesses of the Universal Brotherhood that the Hungarian youth and adults have made in the past few months. That the Hungarian youth and adults have made in the past few months.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And it's a wonderful time and a wonderful occasion to celebrate here with so many enthusiastic people, young and not so young people, the beginning of the United World Week. These documents that I am holding in my hand, they show not only the intentions of the Hungarian youth and adult people, but also many of the activities that has been done already and activities in the future. Many of us sang in the liturgy past Sunday, "Be ready right away, build up the town, mind your home, carry your brother and sister. God expects these from you." Hallelujah. Town, home, brother and sister, they are all expecting us, all of us, to build the bridges and to walk upon them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Miklós Réthelyi, for your kind and encouraging words. Now Hungary is saying goodbye. Thank you for being with us. We send our warm greetings to you, to all around the world. Have a nice afternoon. Bye.
We thank the Hungarian youth for United World and Dr. Miklós Réthelyi.
سلام حار من رئيسة المؤتمر العام لليونسكو.
Our heartfelt greeting also comes from the President of UNESCO's General Conference, Mrs. Catalina Bogay, who we all remember having been with us in Budapest. Thank you from the bottom of our heart.
As you know, we have lived very unforgettable days.
In Bethlehem, we met the mayor and we participated in a forum on universal brotherhood at the university.
مشينا كمان بالصحراء وسوينا عدة ورشات عمل فنية وموسيقية مع جين روسو وجين فيردي.
There was also an excursion in the desert and different artistic and musical workshops with Gen Ross and Gen Verde. Gen Ross and Gen Verde, who came to the Holy Land for this occasion, held 3 concerts: Bethlehem, Nazareth and Haifa.
Yesterday here in Jerusalem there was a public symposium entitled Discovering the Other's Humanity, and today we performed a flash mob and did a long march along the walls of the old city.
مرحبا للكل. أنا سامر من حيفا من الأراضي المقدسة.
My name is Samer. I'm from Haifa in the Holy Land. Hello to everyone. During this last week, we have lived a very strong experience with Jen Ross and Jen Verde during the workshops. In preparing for these workshops, we wanted to bring together Arabic and Jewish young people. But I remember that I had some perplexities, and I said that I wasn't sure that this idea would work out well, since any wrong word or phrase could make the whole situation explode. Nevertheless, we all decided to take this opportunity and throw ourselves in this adventure. Now that the workshops are over, I think that they went well, because in the end, we saw that it didn't matter whether a young person was Jewish or Arabic, and we didn't even think of who was this person next to me or in front of me that was dancing with me. The important thing was that when someone held up their hand, it was as if everyone lifted up their hand with him or her. This is why there was an atmosphere of unity, family. We felt at home. During the experience of the workshops, we discovered that with all the young people, there was a reciprocity in love. It was great to see how, for the little step we took, God gave us so much in return. Sometimes we forget or think it's difficult to bring about a united world. But in these days, we had the certainty that it is possible, especially because of the strength and courage we received from the arrival in the Holy Land of the group of young people coming from all over the world. This helped us to go ahead with perseverance in order to achieve our goal. Thank you.
Ciao a tutti.
Hi to all, I'm Francesca from Milan. As you could see, we spent a really intense week here in the Holy Land. And arriving in these places, I let the reality I found here speak to me without projecting my personal expectations and needs. This is really true, especially for the people I've met. I was really touched by their true and sincere spirit of welcome. Not only did they open up their homes to us, they told us their stories and many difficulties that they have to face daily. But everything with simplicity and spontaneity, without anger nor rancor. This was to see a source of richness in each person. This experience has given me a positive energy and will now be my task and all of your tasks to take this home with you, continuing to share it with everyone. So I thank you, and we continue all together.
Thank you, Samer, and thank you, Francesca, for your great experiences. Now we'll link up with India, Mumbai. Are you there? Hello, David.
Hi, I'm Blossom from Mumbai. Forgive, such a small word and hard to put into practice, but brings immense joy and peace to us. When I was 3, my dad left my mom and me to live separately. From the keyhole of my bedroom door, I would see my mom weeping every evening when she would get back from work. That's the time when anger and hatred grew for my father. As years passed, this anger grew like a wildfire within me. If anyone would ask me about my father, I had a standard answer to it. He is dead. He was really as good as dead for me. This changed when I came for the Gen Fest. I heard so many experiences of people forgiving, and especially a girl with a similar story like mine. It made me to think and question myself. In Rome, for the school for young people which we had after the Gen Fest, I decided that I would forgive my father for what he had done to my mom and me. At that very moment, I felt peace within me. I felt light, as if a load of heavy sack just got off my shoulder. Now I realize what forgive really means. Bye! All our love and unity from India.
Ciao a tutti! Maria Grazia!
Francesco. Siamo entrambi dall'Italia.
We are both from Italy. We would like to present you an ongoing project, the United World Project. It all started in Budapest last September. So many stories, so many ideals led us there. Today, we would like to talk more extensively about brotherhood, the guiding principle of the United World Project. It begins from the understanding that fraternity is the driving force of human history. It is our imperative duty to bring it to light. For this reason, we started to let lived brotherhood emerge around us, observing its historical force. From this came forth the first of the 3 initiatives generated by the GenFest: organize ourselves as a permanent observatory of universal brotherhood.
Another is this. We hope to be recognized by the United Nations, a unique moment, very important, that we would like to receive international recognition by United Nations. Pay attention, though. There are more of us than what we think. A global network of people is being created. They are adhering to our project through a signature with which they commit themselves to live fraternity, putting it at the center of their way of life. So far, we have reached about 50,000 signatures, and they continue to increase every day. It is a complex, worldwide, challenging project in which we find recorded and analyzed fragments of fraternity. The United World Week as an international workshop and signatures as a global network. Underlying all this is the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do to you, the heart of many civilizations and traditions.
Some famous personalities and real witnesses to the world, some mayors and many representatives of the social, political and religious world are helping us in this undertaking. On this occasion, we want to remind you that there are many people who are already connected to the website www.unitedworldproject.org and have signed their personal commitment to live the Golden Rule. And you, have you signed already? So far, many ideas have come up in order to promote this initiative. Who knows how many more we will come up with? For example, let's go together to weave this network of love that is enveloping the world. Yes, it is a long road, but already during these past months, important steps have been taken regarding the relationship with institutions. Recently, some young people were received by UNESCO in France, Portugal, and Uruguay. At the Federal State Senate in Brazil, in Zambia during our Diocesan Day, in Italy and in many other places. To coordinate everything, we organize ourselves by giving rise to a permanent observatory of brotherhood, the United World Watch. Our first goal is to build the Atlas of Fraternity. Just imagine the world map illuminated by all the fragments of fraternity that are changing our history.
Yes, but how can we detect these fraternal actions? The United World Watch has involved collaboration with young people from more than 30 countries. And through a survey form, we have so far received more than 700 sheets indicating fraternal actions. We are still analyzing the results, but we can disclose that the result is an exciting outline, clearly showing that brotherhood is underway with original formulas, sometimes imaginative, but transforming human history. Unfortunately, we cannot go into details too much here. In our upcoming events, though, we will present the results achieved. Meanwhile, we can tell you that we will bring all this material to the member states of UNESCO, and we will strive to promote this initiative, beginning with our friends, up to reaching the international institutions. Thanks also to our New Humanity NGO.
Non governativa New Humanity, che da anni è già all'interno del circuito delle Nazioni Unite. Come vedete,
as you can see, and as we realize every day, we have major goals ahead of us. Woe if we slow down now. Do we want to be protagonists of our history or not? Yes, of course. Just as Chiara taught us, universal brotherhood is God's design on the human family. Precisely from here, from these steps, is the idea of universal brotherhood. We too, with the United World Project, want to help fulfill this dream.
See you soon.
Maria, grazie, Francesca. Thank you very much for your experience. They just told me that the Indians are still with us online, so big applause for them.
At Lopiano, the little town of the Focolare movement in Italy, there are 3,000 young people right now, gathered together at this very moment. Now we would like to link up with them. Lopiano, are you there?
Vogliamo adesso collegarci con loro. Lopiano, ci siete? Ci siamo,
Jerusalem! Yes, we right there with you, Jerusalem.
We are linked up with you. Hello to everyone. We are there together with you towards a united world.
Sentito il dolore del fratello? Hai mai provato a stargli vicino? Hai mai guardato l'altro nel suo mondo? Hai mai cercato risposte ai suoi perché? Esci da te stesso, parti adesso. Troppo, basta un passo, oltre ogni barriera, tutti insieme, verso il mondo unico, il ponte siamo noi. Facciamoci sentire Lopiano! Come dice la canzone, esci da te stesso, vai avanti adesso, non pensarci troppo, basta un passo, oltre ogni barriera, tutti insieme. Parti adesso, non pensarci troppo, basta un passo, oltre ogni barriera, tutti insieme, verso un mondo unico, il ponte siamo noi. Esci da te stesso, parti adesso, non pensarci troppo, basta un passo, oltre ogni barriera. The bridge.
Grazie, Lo Piano!
Thank you to Lo Piano.
Veramente grazie.
Really, thank you for this wonderful song. Some days ago, we were able to present the United World Project to Dr. Shyami Puvimansinghe, who is the Human Rights Officer of the UN of Geneva. Let's listen to her message.
Hello, and I'm Shyami, and I'm happy to meet all of you and I bring you warm greetings, kind greetings from Geneva, from the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, which is part of the United Nations in Geneva. I was very inspired to hear about the movement of young people called Youth for a United World. And as Andrew and Maria explained to me what your mission and what your vision is all about, I think I saw some similarities between what you are trying to do and what we do. I work specifically on a right called the right to development. So I don't want to start with a negative picture, so I will start with a positive picture and a picture of hope, an image of hope, because the United Nations was formed in 1945 and through the Charter of the United Nations, and in the preamble and the first Principle 1 and Principle 55, 56 lay out a framework for the whole world, all the peoples of the world, to come together to work for a better world. The preamble starts with the words, "We, the peoples of the United Nations, spoke together as one humanity in a spirit of, we spoke in a spirit of hope." And this was inspired by our collective resolve to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women and of nations large and small. We committed as the peoples of the United Nations and as the nations, I mean, it is us the people, but we are represented in the UN through our member states. We committed to establish conditions under which justice and respect for international legal obligations could be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom for all. We resolved to practice tolerance, live together in peace, and unite our strength to maintain international peace and security, to ensure that armed force shall not be used save in the common interest. We recognized that stability and well-being were essential to peaceful resolution between nations and peaceful relations between nations, and vowed to use international cooperation to solve international problems of an economic, social, cultural, and/or humanitarian nature, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights. Another milestone after that was the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which it has many good, articles which help to ensure that all people are equal, that all people are free from want and from fear. And particularly because I'm talking of the right to development, I would like to mention Article 1 and Article 28. Article 1 says that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and in rights, and are endowed with reason and conscience, and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. And I see this kind of language in your work as well, as the fraternity or the sisterhood or the brotherhood, that peoples are all one. And all people have the
We thank her very warmly. And now we invite Nadia
I turned on my TV. I saw a world of desperation on the news. Such a wave of sadness just came over me. It seemed like wars were all that we knew how to do. Why can't we ever seem to get along together? Why does the fighting never cease? But then I realized if I don't start with me, I'll never see a day of peace. I've got to learn. Bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. It can be amazing what a difference love can make. Then I think about the girl who lives next door. You know we really never do see eye to eye. After that big argument we'd speak no more. And in the meantime months have silently gone by. How can I suddenly just swallow my pride after all that she's put me through? But then again, well, maybe I could just try to somehow see things from her point of view. I'll tell myself, bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. It can be amazing what a difference love can make. A secret power is in our hearts. It goes beyond our feelings. We've only got to learn the art of loving and of healing. We've got to say, bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. Bend, don't break. It can be amazing what a difference love can make. Bend, don't break. Don't break. Bend, don't break. Don't break. Bend, don't break. Don't break. It can be amazing what a difference love can make.
Chi beve l'acqua pensa alla sorgente.
Those who drink the water will think of the source. What is the origin of this life oriented to the universal brotherhood? December the 7th, 1943. Chiara Lubich had only the feelings of a beautiful young girl in love with God, to whom she was saying her yes forever. This was enough for her. She couldn't have imagined all that she would have seen and lived in her 88 years of life. That millions of people would have followed her, simply calling her Chiara. She certainly hadn't thought that with her friends she would have reached 182 nations, that she would have founded a movement, opening channels of ecumenical dialogue with the great religions and with people of non-religious affiliations. Chiara reached heaven on March 14, 2008. Now we'll watch some excerpts of her talk at the United Nations in 1997. I am honored to be here in the United Nations, this worldwide organization which brings together 185 member states, united for the main purpose of maintaining international peace and security. I come to you today representing a movement too which is actively present in practically all the nations of the world, and although it is much smaller and less well known, it still has something in common with this great and celebrated organization. In fact, our movement, known as the Focolare, also aims at bringing peace into the world, as it dreams of a future in which the world will be truly united. It is a force for peace in the world. It proposes, promotes, and builds peace not at high-level meetings as the United Nations does, but among ordinary people of every language, race, nationality, and religion. But what is the bond of unity? What creates peace? It is love. Love that lives deep in the heart of every human being. It is love that is strong, capable of loving even those who do not reciprocate, but instead attack us as enemies. It is a love capable of forgiving. For those who follow other religions, this love is often called benevolence and is expressed by the golden rule, which is a beautiful tenet of many religions. Do to others what you would have them do to you. Do not do to others what you would not have them do to you. For people who do not have a religious faith, love can mean philanthropy, solidarity, non-violence. It is love, therefore, a human divine love which does not exclude purely human love and which joins men and women, children and the elderly, persons of all walks of life, making them all of one heart. This has consequences on both the spiritual and material levels. In varying degrees, everyone shares what they have in an atmosphere of peace. Certainly there will always be wars until there is a new spirit, because people find all kinds of excuses to start wars. We need to change the soul. We need a spiritual boost. Nowadays there are many discoveries, many innovations. The communications media go ahead. Technology progresses. What has not progressed in the world is the spiritual aspect. We need a spiritual boost, a supplement of love in the world. This is what we must bring.
We are nearing the end of our link up. Before we conclude, we would like to leave a visible sign of fraternity and peace in this place that is welcoming us here today. We thought of an olive tree that for now we have placed in a pot. In the future, it will be a part of the park that will emerge here. It will be a durable sign of the extraordinary experience of these days and our commitment to be bridges of fraternity with everyone.
هلا بدنا نتحد كلنا بلحظة.
And now, all over the world, we unite for a moment of silence for peace.
What is this noise I'm hearing? What message is appearing? Though I try closing my eyes, insistently it's beating and endlessly repeating, echoing round in my mind.
It's consuming, your life is for living. Reach out your hand, don't turn away.
Places far and near, can't you hear? Everywhere, growing stronger. Some whose time has gone. Everyone reaching out, reach together. Let's be one.
All around the world is talking. Is anybody listening? The World Wide Web never sleeps. People call out for freedom. When they're put down, we see them. How will we ever believe?
It's cause again, don't turn your back on others. Reach out your hand and be the change.
From places far and near, can't you hear? Everywhere, growing stronger. Some whose time has come. Everyone reaching out, reach together. Places far and near, can't you hear? Everywhere, growing stronger. A song whose time has gone. Everyone reaching out, reach together. From places far and near, can't you hear? Everywhere, growing stronger. A song whose time has gone. Everyone reaching out, reach together, may they all be one.
In a short while, we will say goodbye. But the United World Project goes ahead in each corner of the globe. In a few days' time in Nairobi, Kenya, the School of Enculturation will begin with the launching of the worksite Sharing with Africa.
قبل ما ننهي البرنامج بنحب نعلن انه
And before we finish, we let everybody know that the World United Work for 2014 will be opened up in the African, precisely Nairobi.
Ringraziamo in modo speciale.
In a special way, we thank all our friends of the Holy Land for these days, for these extraordinary days, and for all the hard work put in for this worldwide live transmission. Thank you.
Grazie anche agli operatori.
Thank you also to the operators of the Center of the Focolare Movement, Hungary, India, and Lopiano. And a huge thank you to the operators of the Franciscan Media Center, Canção Nova, Tele Lumiere, Telepace, TV 2000, who made this link-up possible.
And thank you to all of you here present and linked up throughout the world.
Goodbye, everyone.
Ciao a tutti.
Be the bridge!
Mm-hmm.